welcome back to my channel. My name is Emma if you're new here, and welcome back to another TBR jar video. You guys know this is my favorite kind of bookish video to watch and my favorite bookish video to make, and so I'm so excited to continue to bring these videos back every single month. And it's time to pick our November TBR, which November is kind of an interesting month for me because in my opinion November is still fall up until Thanksgiving, or when it starts to get a little bit chillier out. Like sometimes it snowed in October, and so as soon as November hits, to me it's winter and Christmas, and other times it's Christmas season as soon as Thanksgiving is over. And this year we've had kind of a warmer fall, so I think I'm not really gonna get super into the Christmas spirit until after Thanksgiving. So that's kind of my mindset when it comes to fall, winter, Thanksgiving, and Christmas. And so I am still like in the mood for like the fall books, and I'm very much into thrillers. I've read 2 thrillers this past month, and I just am like craving more of that. But I'm also not opposed to picking like 1 or 2 Christmassy books because maybe I'll read those towards the end of the month. But without further ado, if you guys don't know how this video works, this is my TBR jar. It's got a bunch of the books. It's got a bunch of the books on my TBR, and then this is my little prompt jar. It's got a whole bunch of prompts that will lead me to pick books from my TBR. So I'm gonna pick 5 prompts and pick out 5 books, and then my 6th book will be a free choice. So that's if there's a new release or something I'm just really in the mood for reading. And there are a few books that I have as options for my free pick, and I really want to get to them this month. I'm just like craving reading them, so I'm really hoping that I get those. So let's just get started and pick our prompt number 1. I'm gonna mix it up just a little bit. All right, prompt number 1 says, ask Instagram, pick 2 and let Instagram vote. Ooh, okay, now I gotta look through my whole TBR jar and pick like what 2 books. I'm just gonna look through, I just dumped out my jar, and then I will get back to you. After looking through all my little books, I've decided the 2 that I want to pair together, and I was thinking like maybe I should probably put like, you know, a series I'm currently on or something like that, but nah, because these are the ones I want to read right now. So the first one is The Maidens by Alex Michaelis. This has been really on my radar recently. I feel like I've seen a lot of book content creators that have read this book and really liked it, and this is the same author that wrote The Silent Patient, which is one of my absolute favorite mystery thriller books. I actually lent it out to my grandma to read, and I just know that she's gonna love it. That was a crazy plot twist for me, and so I really want to give another one of his books another try and see if this one is just as good. And I think it has something to do with like an all-girls school or something like that in Greece maybe, but I think it has something to do with like Greek mythology or something like that. Something to do with Greece and mythology. But that is option number 1. And then option number 2, I have looked through all my mini books and I don't think I made a mini book for this duology, and that is 6 of Crows. And this is like a YA fantasy book, and the reason I am like really craving this book right now, it's kind of silly, but have you guys heard of like the Louvre being robbed in France and like the heist that took place? That has been one of my hyperfixations this month. I think it's so cool, and like, is it bad to steal? Yes. Do I support it? No, but I love a good heist, and that reminded me of 6 of Crows because all I know about this book is that it's a YA fantasy about a heist, and there's like super good found family, which I love, and I've heard a lot of really good reviews about this duology, and I'm like, why not? So I'm gonna pair those 2 together and post a little Instagram story right now on my phone. I'll have to get a picture of 6 of Crows. All right, I just posted the story, and this is what it looks like. So by the end of the video, whichever one has the most votes, I'm just gonna pick that one. All right, on to prompt number 2. This says, a literary fiction book. Okay, I'm trying to think of like literary fiction books that I have. Okay, right away I see Lineage of Grace by Francine Rivers, and she is like a historical fiction Christian author, and she writes a lot of like biblical story retellings, I guess. So that's an option. I also have The Wishing Game by Meg Schaefer. I don't know too much about this. I've just heard that it's kind of like a cozy book, and a lot of people recommend it in the fall. After looking at my list, these seem to be the only two options that I currently have. It's not my entire TBR. I have kind of like a mental TBR as well, and I have a lot more mini books that are in the to make process, and sometimes I will make some and leave some out just so my TBR jar is just a little smaller and I get to maybe the books that I'm intimidated by or like not super excited to pick up, but I know I want to. So these are the two options, and actually my grandma is also borrowing Lineage of Grace, and that means I probably wouldn't get it back until Thanksgiving when I go visit her. So that makes me wonder if I should maybe pick The Wishing Game by Meg Schaefer. And I think that this is just a short, sweet book, and maybe it's just time that I pick it up. So I'm gonna add The Wishing Game by Meg Schaefer to the TBR. All right, on to prompt number 3. It says, a book over 400 pages. So because these are just like mini books right here, I don't know the page count. So I'm gonna actually go look at my physical TBR and pull out maybe some of the books that are interesting to me and that I want to read, and see if there's any over 400 pages. So on my physical TBR, I have A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas. This is the second book in the ACOTAR series, and this is definitely over 400 pages. It's a thick book. Let's see the final page count. 626 pages. So this one's obviously an option. And then next is kind of a newer series on my TBR that I bought the physical copies of just because they were so pretty, and one of them was just perfect for fall. And this is Unwanted by Mia Sheridan, and just look at this cover. And the fall one is even cuter, but this is basically like a small town mystery about this wilderness guide who is brought in to help with this murder that happened in the small town, and their leading suspect is this guy who just kind of lives on his own in the middle of the wilderness, and he doesn't talk to anyone. It's kind of giving Archer's Voice a little bit in that sense, and some people have said that it's a little bit like Wednesday, but I really haven't heard much about this series at all. I think I've heard one person talk about it, and I'm really excited about it, and I think it could really give like that fall feel. And I'm not sure what season this takes place in. It doesn't specifically say, but I think it's gonna be really good and interesting. So this could be an option as well. Along with the other books, I looked at Kiss the Sky by Kristen Becker Ritchie. I'm in the middle of the Addicted and Calloway Sister universe, and this was actually on my TBR last month. And this is an option as well that is over 400 pages. And now I'm thinking like maybe I should just add a Christmas book because I think I will really be in the mood for that at the end of this month. And so I'm just gonna look up on my Goodreads Resting Scrooge Face by Megan Quinn. This is a little Christmassy book. Oh, I guess this is like a little novella because it says it's only 80 pages on my Goodreads. So this is definitely not an option. The other Christmas book that I have is Blame It on the Mistletoe by, can't even read the author's name, but it's this cutie little book. And let's see how many pages this one has. 368. So this is not an option either. I'm also really in my thriller era, and I do really want to read The Intruder by Frida McFadden, but I just know that the lines at my library are going to be super long. The Libby's going to be super long. They don't have it for free on Spotify audiobooks. You have to pay for it, even with my subscription that I already have. So I'm going to put this one down, but The Paris Apartment by Lucy Foley is a thriller. I've had this on my TBR for so long. So let's see. This one has 360 pages, so nope, that's not an option either. I think it's time that I just stop looking at the options and just pick one of the ones on my TBR. So do I want to start a new series? There's only 2 out currently. Or do I want to continue a series and read this massive book this month? I really should finish up some series, and I do love this series so far. I've only read book 1, but it is so good, and I need to stop letting the big books intimidate me because everyone says that this is the best one in the series, and so I think that I just need to pick her up this month. So A Court of Mist and Fury it is. What are we on? Prompt number 4? Yes, 4. Let's see. Oh, I picked 2. Let me try again. A book with a black cover. Oh my goodness, I have a lot of these. Okay, we have Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber. This is a YA fantasy. I've read the Caraval. I don't know. I've read that trilogy. Wasn't my favorite. It was overall like a 3-star trilogy at best. I also have Glorious Rivals. This is by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. This is in her new spin-off series after Inheritance Games, and this is the 2nd book, and it did just recently come out, and so this is definitely an option as well. Also The Maidens, which is on that poll, it has a black cover. Same with Six of Crows. I don't know if I can save that prompt though. I also have Light Lark. This is a YA fantasy series along with Heartless Hunter. This is another fantasy duology. All the rest have black on them, but they aren't black covers. So I think I just have to go with one of these options. I don't really want to start a new series because I feel like I'm in the middle of so many. So I think I should just continue to work on the series that I'm currently on. And I really want to save this prompt because both The Maidens and Six of Crows are black covers, and I do really want to read both of those this month, but I think that I need to stick to this prompt and not save it because we already have one that's kind of saved for the end. So I think I'm just gonna go with Glorious Rivals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I should really just read this book. I don't know why I'm putting it off. I eat her books up every time. I love her fast-paced style of writing. I read her books super quick, so I'm just gonna add that to my TBR. Okay, this is the last and final prompt that we're gonna pick before my free pick. Prompt number 5 says, a book with a 3-word title. Okay. Kiss the Sky by Kristen Becca Ritchie. That's 3 words. The Way I Used to Be. The Way I Used to Be. That's not 3 words. Blame It on the Mistletoe. That's not 3. Resting Scrooge Face. This is a 3-word title. This could really work. Oh, I thought it was Conditions of Will. It's actually The Conditions of Will by Jessa Hastings, and this is a 4 words. That wouldn't work. The Paris Apartment is a 3-word title, so this could work as well. Rock, Paper, Scissors by Alice Feeney. This is a 3-word title, but this is more wintry, so I think I'm going to save that. Of all the books that I have, I'm just going to pick out of these. The Paris Apartment by Lucy Foley, Kiss the Sky by Kristen Becca Ritchie, and Resting Scrooge Face by Megan Quinn. So I currently have 1 fantasy book, 1 kind of Jennifer Lynn Barnes book. I don't know, is that like mystery thriller? I don't know, I would think so. And then I have a general fiction, literary fiction book. And then on my Instagram poll, it's either going to be a fantasy or a thriller. So with that in mind, not in like a rom-com-y, like YA sort of romance mood, I'm more into like the character study or something really deep and emotional, which the Addicted and Calloway Sister is very much a character study, not normal romance series. So I'm very in the mood for that. And I do have a thriller on already and possibly a second. So I'm going to put the Paris Apartment back. So that leaves us with these 2 options. Do I want a romance or do I want a romance or do I want a Christmassy book? I think I'll just add a Christmassy book. There's only 2 months in the year where I could read this book. So I'm gonna add Resting Scrooge Face to the TBR. Okay, now it's time for my free pick. And I really do want to pick Six of Crows, but it's on that voting tab. And the other book that I really wanted to read this month is actually a reread, and it is November 9th by Colleen Hoover. I read this kind of towards the beginning of my reading journey, and I absolutely loved it. It was one of like my 6-star reads. And whenever people ask like, what are your favorite books? That one always comes to mind, along with Heartbones, which I recently read and regave that 5 stars. And I'm actually going to do a little journal spread in my reading journal about that. And that only happens for my absolute favorite books. So I really want to reread November 9th, not only because it's in November, but I just want to read a book that I love again and see if I would still give it that same rating. And what better time than to read it in November. So I have that in my Amazon cart, a used copy, because I just haven't been able to find it in thrift stores. For some reason, the only Colleen Hoover books that are ever at thrift stores are like It Ends With Us, It Starts With Us, and Verity. So I've been kind of shopping around for that one at a thrift store and I haven't been able to find it. So I think I'm gonna order a used copy on Amazon. So that's gonna be my free pick this month. I'm really excited about it and I hope that I still absolutely love it. Now it's time to look at my Instagram and see which one won. I'm nervous. Okay, I'm gonna let you guys look at it first. Six of Crows has 33% of votes and The Maidens has 67. So The Maidens is our winner of this poll, which I'm a little disappointed by. You guys know I wanted Six of Crows. Maybe I'll still read it anyway. This is a short book. And The Maidens I have on Livy audiobook. So this is perfect. I love my little audiobooks in the car and when I'm doing chores and stuff. And so this is perfect. I might still get to Six of Crows, but I would be really sad though if Six of Crows shot up after this poll, even though I already picked my book. But it's okay. Anyway, let's just go through all the books that I am hoping to read this month. First, we have The Wishing Game, and this is by Meg Schaefer. This is our literary fiction book for this month. And then we have A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas. This is an adult fantasy book. We have Glorious Rivals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. This is like a mystery thriller sort of YA fun series. This is the second book to the Grandest Game little series. We have Resting Scrooge Face by Megan Quinn. It's gonna be Grumpy Sunshine because it's Resting Scrooge Face. Maybe it's like an enemies to lovers. I honestly don't know, but Christmas books are only enjoyable in November and December, so gotta add one of those. Have The Maidens by Alex Michaelis. Like I said, this is an adult mystery thriller book. And then my free pick is of course November 9th by Colleen Hoover, and this is a adult romance, but it's about someone when she's a teenager and then like kind of you see them when they grow up, and it can seem very YA, but there's things in it that would not make it a YA book, so I'm gonna call it adult because I think that's what it should be titled as. I don't know why I went on that rant, but anyway, those are all of the books that are on my November TBR. I really hoped that you enjoyed this video. I love filming these videos and I'm pretty excited about my TBR this month. I think I have some good picks in there. If you've made it this far, let me know down below when Christmas season starts. Is it year round? Is it after Halloween? Is it after Thanksgiving? Let me know. And yeah, that is all. Make sure to follow me on all my social media platforms at Emma Marie Miller, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.